now have a panel discussion on transforming Kerala, Vision Kerala, an idea whose time has come. On stage, we will have the moderator, C. Balagopal, Chairman KSIDC and Charter President TiEcon Kerala. Balagopal is instrumental in introducing biomedical devices to India and scaling Terumo Penpal Limited into the world's largest producer of blood bag systems, exporting to over 50 countries. A thought leader, Balagopal actively supports startups and social initiatives through Anaha Trust. I also request other panelists on stage. Joining him on stage are TiEcon Kerala Charter members VK Mathews, founder IBS Group, Paul Thomas, founder ESAF Bank, ESAF Group, Navas Meeran, Chairman Group Meeran.
Yeah.
I invite the moderator, C. Balagopal, to introduce the three panelists.
Yeah. Thank you, Nisha. It's my pleasant duty to introduce the three distinguished panelists for this session. I don't think they require much introduction, but it gives me great pleasure to introduce all our good friends, VK Mathews, founder and executive chairman of the IBS Group, who has built from scratch what is today a world leader in the transportation, logistics, hospitality, and cargo space across the world in all forms of freight transportation. Second, we have Paul Thomas, who is the founder, CEO, and managing director of the ESAF Group. ESAF is a small finance bank which is now making its presence felt in the highly competitive banking space and helping to establish, once again, reaffirm Kerala and Thrissur's special place in the banking world in India. And finally, there is Navas Meeran, chairman of Group Meeran, who built a family business into a global business, and today is now wearing many hats, one of which I think is going to make him probably as well known in the football, in the soccer world. He'll be soon as well known as, I think, Messi and Ronaldo and all, and that is as the president of the Kerala Football Association. So it gives me great pleasure to open this panel discussion. We don't have much time, and we have the important theme, which is about the challenges facing Kerala and the future, which is ahead of Kerala, and the theme of the convention itself, which is imagining a future, the future of Kerala, and transforming Kerala to realize all its potential. That's the broad theme of this panel. So what I had shared with the panelists before was that given the limited time and the fact that we would like to see that each of them gets a chance to express their views and also leave a little time for Q&A after the session. What I plan is to ask a general question which each will answer with taking about 5 to 8 minutes, and then I will go to the next question, by which time we would have covered about 30 minutes, leaving hopefully some time for Q&A. So my first question is that what I had alluded to in my short talk at the inaugural session is that if you look at the past 24 years from the year 2000 till today, the growth of the Kerala economy has been fairly steady. It has been, in fact, it has been a little ahead of the national growth figures. Interestingly, all sectors grew well, particularly the secondary and tertiary sectors grew well. So during this time, the gross state domestic product of the country, of the state, increased from 77,000 crores to around 11 lakh crores. So it doubled a few times, 3 or 4 times it doubled. And if you extend this, the same rate of growth for 24 years over the next few years, the Kerala economy will double again. Just like the economy of other states will also be doubling in their own cycles. So there is, what I'm trying to suggest is there is a growth momentum already happening. What is it that as businesses, what entrepreneurs need to look at, things which they can do, which they need to do, which industry associations and bodies like TiE, etc. need to do. Because my next question will be about government and the ecosystem. So this one is, what do we need to do to be able to take full advantage of this growth story which is happening before us? So can I invite VK to start the discussion?
Thank you, Balagopal. Good afternoon, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I was telling Bala, looking at the lean audience, I was telling him, I hope it is not because of this panel session that everybody is keeping outside the hall. Assuming that. So, just specifically going to Bala's lead, if we continue the same track, it's likely that the GDP of our state will double by 2032. You're looking at the same CAGR growth. Now, 2-3 questions I was asking to answer this. What we have done so far, or what has taken us from there to here, will it take, if we continue the same path, will it take us from here to there, to 2032? And then, should we aspire for better? What should be our aspiration? And what are the most important things for any place, not just Kerala, in the next 10 years or next 5 years? This is, if I take it this way, I would like to go and set as what should be our vision. What should be the vision for this state? And we have said this in many occasions. I think we should strive to become the finest place to live. If it's a good place to live, it will be a great place to work as well. And I would like to read this side by side with another absolute fact, is that the progress of a place, and more so in the coming decade, is going to depend on the place's ability to attract and retain talent. And that's another very important one. So we would strive to become the finest place, and we should try to actually retain and attract talent. If you just look at what William has actually said in his presentation to a question as what do you think is the reason why India had such glory once upon a time, and what he alluded to was when we were open, liberal in our thoughts, in our actions, which attracted the rest of the world coming to India and co-create with us. So that's another very important one. So we would like to be the finest place to live. And we would like to attract and retain the best of talent. We will go to different sectors, what are the sectors for Kerala, etc. But this is the core underlying philosophy and the principle. Now, if you want to do that, the first part, there are only two things that is required. Because anything and everything that we produce is a product of our thinking. And that's the first one. So, first part is this, clean Kerala. If our state can be kept clean, if we can manage and process our waste properly, all of us should try, at least to agree to that. And number two, if we can keep our state safe. That means when I say safe, safe to travel roads and efficient roads, safe to eat food, safe to drink water, safety from disasters. Ladies and gentlemen, we should live and breathe this. We would like to keep our city clean, our towns clean, our villages clean. Our waters, like Josh is sitting and reading his, or watching his reels, but he always says we have to make the backwaters swimmable. So if we can get just these two things, keep our state clean and keep our state actually safe. When I say safe, it's not just the physical safety I'm talking about. I think our place will become, the rest the Keralites will do. We will make this place the best place to live. And so this is the first part of it. The second part is we want to retain, of course, people will explore, they have to go out and they will go out, they will do all of that, but we still want to hold on to this theme that we want to attract and retain our talent. Ladies and gentlemen, if we meet the first part, this is a great place to live. Then the second part is, if we can create successful enterprises which provide well-paying jobs. I would like to actually take us to another fact, that the youth unemployment in Kerala is the highest in the country. It is 30%, alarmingly high. 47% for female, and the rest is for male. And the reason is not because we don't have jobs. We have got, at this point in time, roughly 40 lakhs or 36 to 40 lakhs of migrant workers doing the work here. But our boys and girls will not do that job, and there is nothing wrong in it, because their aspiration is not that. They are qualified for better than that. So we have to create jobs which are commensurate to the aspiration of our boys and girls. Otherwise, they will leave. So I will stop there by saying the vision for Kerala to be the finest place. And we should, all of us, breathe and live on this concept that more profitable, more successful enterprises with well-paying jobs. I underscore this part. More successful, more profitable is not because we tend to equate profit with exploitation or link with exploitation. No. In this context, profit means that boy which is doing that particular work is the most ideal one for the society. It is absolutely at the sweetest spot. And this is what we should try to do, all of us. It is more in our psyche and mind. Everything else will fall in place. And that's where I will stop, and then we'll move on. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bala. Thank you, TiEcon leadership, for having this panel discussion on transforming Kerala, visioning discussion on Kerala. I really thank Bala sir for his optimism. And so what we need to have I think what we can do is that all of us, all Keralites, all entrepreneurs can be as optimistic as Bala sir. So if we can do that, I think we can really transform Kerala because we have a great legacy. We just heard about that from the author, great author, Mr. William. So I think all of us have to talk about the positive side of the achievements of Kerala. I think the perception need to be rewritten so that everybody can do that. We all can contribute towards that. I think that is the first thing I think everybody can do. You need not be entrepreneurs, students, the general public. All Keralites can talk about the positive aspects of Kerala, what is our legacy, what we have achieved. And then leverage on the achievements we made in the past. Definitely, we all agree that in the social sector, in the Human Development Index, in the health, education sectors, now consistently we have been ranked by Government of India rankings, NITI Aayog's rankings, in the ease of doing, recently in the ease of doing business ranking also, we have improved our score significantly. We have improved, and we have got a very good startup ecosystem in Kerala. And I just wanted to focus on one specific area. And Kerala has been consistently ranked number 1 in the Sustainable Development Goal Index by NITI Aayog. For the last 3 years, we are number 1. And SDGs, we all know that it is a UN initiative to achieve global standards. 17 SDG goals UN has identified and introduced, and specific goals have been set by UN, and individual countries have adopted it. India is a signatory to UN SDG. And out of the 17 goals, Kerala stands first in 10 goals. So I don't have enough time, so the number, I just read out few. Goal number 1, no poverty. 2, hunger. 3, good health and well-being. 4, quality education. Number 6, clean water and sanitation. Affordable clean energy. Industry innovation. So it goes on like this. So what it means? So we are talking about Industry 5.0. So Industry 5.0 is all about sustainability. Industry 5.0 is all about human centricity. So companies, investors wanted to invest in such locations. So we as Kerala, as a state, we are far ahead of among all states in these areas. Even in the Human Development Index score, we have a score of 7.5. It is equivalent to the developed countries. So, and we all know that today investors evaluate your ESG score, and even in India, the SEBI has mandated BRSR reporting for listed companies. So recently, our ESAF bank, we have been following the SDG goals, and our products are aligned to SDG goals. Recently, we did our second ESG rating, and we got one of the best rating in the industry. The BFSI sector has got 69 as the highest, and 59 is the average, but we got 68.1. Why? I believe that since we are based headquartered in Kerala, we were able to, we have that focus, and we were able to achieve that point. So that is one area, I think. So we have got that legacy, we have got that background we have built. So we must be able to attract investments and build industries relevant or with sustainability in focus. And coming to specific sectors, I think again we need to focus on MSME, within MSME also. I think because MSMEs create larger large employment. We talk about employment generation and the service sector, which creates large employment, because 60% of the Kerala GSDP comes from service sector. So even in service sector, I will, in the next round, I will specifically tell what are the requirement from the service sector. But why I said MSME, even within MSME, the nano sector, home-based industries. Recently, our industries minister talked very high about home-based, women-centric industry. So there is a large momentum of women entrepreneurship in Kerala. So we need to, as TiE, I think we need to promote, but we are still focusing on, my belief is that we are still focusing on the higher end of MSME, but large number of MSMEs are in the lower end of MSME, the middle, the micro, or I would call it is nano sector. A few years ago, we worked with these nano entrepreneurs. So just 1 year ago, we did a survey among our women self-help group members. So 28% of the members, they create 3 to 5 jobs, 3 to 5 jobs. So that is huge in number. So because it's not very high paying jobs, but it's sub 1,000 rupees per day wage and all, but even then they are creating jobs. So what we can do to support these entrepreneurs, that is one area I think we should think. Because since we have a very strong local self-government system in Kerala, the Panchayati Raj system, so each Panchayat should think about creating a common facility center where specific sectors people can come and work and produce and sell. That type of common facility centers can be one area. So every Panchayat will be a center of job creation. So they will production, everything will be there. So another area we should focus more on service sector again. So now government is also working on and industry, VK and all is working on bringing global, more and more global capability centers where definitely our educated youths can have their aspirational jobs. And global, the gift city, which is, we are talking about gift city for some time. But today also I read in the paper, gift city is going to come as part of the Bangalore-Kochi industry corridor and all. So gift city can create, in Gujarat, gift city has created more than 20,000 jobs in very short time. And a 22 million square feet area has been already allotted. So that is the potential we can bring in Singapore or London kind of financial service hub. Kerala has got, because Kerala has got all the other ecosystems. So that is another area where we can think about creating more jobs. So these are all part of the vision which VK has just said, a great place to live and a great place to work. I think together with entrepreneurs, with government and the Keralites, together definitely we have the potential to achieve that vision. So I stop here now.
Navas, you can give your thoughts on the same theme and then we can open it.
So I would put in some examples like the overseas education companies, recruiting companies. One of the largest in Kerala has got a turnover of 700 crores. I don't want to talk about the bottom line. I'm not saying that on a negative connotation. It's basically, from our factory in Adimali, we have close to 14 girls who have been to Israel on elderly care. So I would say that we need to have a guided migration strategy. Because who are we competing with? We're competing with the Filipinos. If you look at the front office in any country, in those places where Indians or the Keralites were there, now it's all been slowly taken over by the Filipinos. So we need to upgrade the quality of offering which we are giving. the major issue which we face right now is, out of the 1,200 odd panchayats, very few panchayat has got a master plan. So you talked about the quality of drinking water. In my hometown, in a specific area, in every 3 cents there is a house. And there is a well, there is a septic tank. Just imagine. And instances where a new house came in and the family which was staying in the old house had food poison and one person died. Because, it was on the side of the wall. On this side it is the well and the other side it's the septic tank. So that sort of issues are there in every aspect of our planning. So I would say that, the irony which is again going to come is, in the Panchayati Raj, we have to have 50% women coming in. So our major responsibility is to educate women who comes into politics, who comes into the Panchayat as a member of the Panchayat. So what are they supposed to do? How should they work on it? And these are all things which we need to actually educate and make them see the big picture of what as a society we can achieve. I would say that in places from Kodamangalam to Munnar, you have huge domestic, we don't have much of foreign tourists coming that way. Most of the tourists are domestic tourists, which probably will be from Gujarat or Maharashtra or whatever it is. Per kilo of pepper, if I sell it to a wholesaler, I'll get 1,900 rupees. But when I sell 250 grams of pepper to a tourist, I'll get 650 rupees. So just imagine, on an average, 500 to 1,000 rupees is the difference when I sell to a tourist. What is the selling point? The USP is that it is fresh. They don't know, when they buy in Ahmedabad, they feel that it's coming through too many areas. They have the fear of adulteration and things like that. Here, I am buying it fresh. So now, the wholesaler is not getting produce to come to Cochin. So that's a way. And another example is, you have Marayur Chandanam. Everyone knows about Marayur Chandanam. What is the net price of a kilo of Marayur Chandanam? It is 88,000 rupees. Are we encouraging farmers to get into Chandanam farming? We are not. So every panchayat, every town has got some sort of an opportunity that can be scaled. That will actually help people improve their livelihood, improve their earnings, and this is what every panchayat need to be educated on. So that's one thing. Second thing is, why in Kerala consumption is going, value is going up, volumes are not, this is specific to Balagopal ji. You have to listen to this. The value is going up, volumes are not going up. There is a huge difference. So here, when you have the remittance coming in, are we putting it into the right place? So in a panchayat, if you get 10 lakh rupee, this 10 lakh will be divided among 12 representatives. Whereas if you have a master plan and you say that, okay, in your plan, this 10 lakh into 5 years, 50 lakhs, think about that 50 lakhs and then do a planning, so that they can put money into the same place, so that stage 1, stage 2 and stage 3 will get the final picture of what need to be achieved. So the thing is, we need to, it's not educating politicians, we need to ourselves be educated, so that, while somebody comes and talk to you, you need to talk about all these things. Only then this becomes a collective force. Otherwise, I have seen everyone being as, You know, every government official, they talk. They're not listening. If they listen to something, there'll be solutions. So this is my take on what we had discussed.
I think we should not just go on to another issue. Because I think if we can just deal with these issues, which VK, Paul and Navas have raised, can we think of, so what should we do? Say, for instance, VK suggested that we should look at Clean Kerala, Safe Kerala. Now, so what do we say need to get done to have I mean, if you look at it, it should be easy, but obviously it's not. That with the most literate state in the country, with the awareness of all this, and literacy came about 30, 40 years ago. With all this, if we still have a situation where safe drinking water, management of waste, solid and other waste, etc., is still a very big issue. Littering in the streets, all that is an issue. So what should we do? What is the problem here? What is the responsibility of us as individuals, businesses, and government, society itself? Can we just have a round where we throw up some ideas? What should we do?
So the need is clearly established, and I think all of us understand the need. At least I would say 50% of the population in Ernakulam and Cochin will identify with this problem. Yeah, I don't think there will be any resistance. It's only a question of how to get it done. If you take as an example waste management, I don't think all of us will try to solve waste management by suggesting what is the best method of waste management and things like that. And 2,000 volumes have been written and kept in KSIDC about how to do the waste management in Kerala. In fact, if there is no need for any of those studies, it's not rocket science. People talked about decentralized, centralized, or whatever. We are quite similar to Singapore in terms of the quality of waste that we produce and the kind of food that we eat and things like that. So I think it is a matter of getting it done. Now, how will you get this done? Every attempt in the past that we tried, including Trivandrum, I know Trivandrum because I'm party to a lot of those activities to change as well. It is entrusted with government. When we talk about you give it to a private sector, they give it to a private sector means a private party. When I talk about public sector mindset and private sector mindset is quite different. Private sector is not just a private party who doesn't have job. It should be an institution, it should be an organization which has the expertise, experience, track record, financial strength, and a reputation to lose. Take the case of passport management by TCS. So if you give it to an agency which has a track record and which has a reputation to lose, and in a manner they are not dependent on the LSGDs and the government for their money. That means, how is the passport service working? They don't have to go to government to ask for the money. So if 1,000 rupees is collected from the customer, meaning you and me as citizens, they will give 990, I'm just saying. They will deduct whatever that should come to them, and they have an incentive to do it. So we have to really hand over this to a private party, and we are very keen on MSMEs and startups. We know among the startups, only 1 in 100 survive. Government cannot take those risks. You and me can take. Government should be handing over to somebody whom they are absolutely sure, and you and me should be in the selection criteria, not them. To actually, so this also, Bala, actually moves to another important thought that we should have. We all in our state, at least 90% of us, have a public sector mindset. Anything in public sector is good, anything in private sector is not that good. Still, we do have that feeling. But if you really come to think about, if you look at the private sector as I have defined it, or at least mentioned, anything that you can be proud of in our country in the last 30 years, it all has a private sector stamp. Anything that we actually see as that we are not so feeling proud has a public sector stamp on it. You just look at KSRTC, KSCB, old Air India, our PNT, the old PNT. And now when you look at our hospitality companies, our airports, our airline companies, and you name it, and the TCS and the Infosys, and all of those companies, and the Synthides and the CGA, all of them, they all have a private stamp. And why is it working? That is because they are accountable, because they have to really succeed. So in this one also, we have to truly, truly recommend this to be handed over and also help with this structure whereby it can be successful. In Trivandrum, it did not succeed. Here, it will not succeed because it's all done with a different intent. This technology is so easy. It's proven and used for last 100 years. So that's something which, so that public-private sector mindset is
excellent. Yeah. Thank you, VK. I think there's probably not too much argument about the effectiveness in getting things done, which has been demonstrated by the private sector. And this is something which has probably not been sufficiently tackled. We don't have an open mind to this. But can we just move on to Paul in terms of anything which you would like to add in terms of what you suggested which should be done? Like you were talking about the sustainability, Industry 5.0, saying that. So what, for instance, I think it's related to what VK was talking about also, because there is a need for for instance, efficient functioning infrastructure, transportation, water transport, water supply and waste management, and all these become part of the ESG. And for MSMEs to thrive, in fact, MSMEs more than large enterprises depend on public infrastructure, social infrastructure. So can you suggest, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, sustainability is very important for not only for large enterprises, but large enterprises has got the capability to build its own systems and supply systems. But as you rightly said, MSME small units definitely have to depend on the public supply system. So I fully agree with what VK said. Kerala has since Bala sir, you are now part of the government. So I think if you can change the perception that everything has to be done by government directly. So there are very good models available in India where waste management is done very, very efficiently. Large municipal corporations like Indore, Mysore and all have done very effectively. And it is not directly, most of the cases it is not done directly. There are public participation is there. So it is our own responsibility. So sustainability doesn't come from outside. So we have to create, we have to be aware about sustainability, the importance of sustainability. So then we have to create that. So we have to take steps. Every individual has a role to play, because social business models can be applied to solve many of our social this problem, waste management. So we can create jobs. So our Harita Karma Sena in Kerala, in many of the panchayats, if we give freedom to them they can sell wherever they want. So now they have to collect waste, segregate it and sell to Clean Kerala company. Instead of Clean Kerala company, if they have the freedom to sell to another private enterprises in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, so they get a better price and their earnings will be increased and they will be happy to do more very efficiently. And also Kerala, we have very strong resident associations in most of the places, most of the cities. So these resident association, many of us are members, but many places we are all passive members. So we have to be very active members and take ownership of these problems. So that we all talk about so these type of issues, but we don't want to get into it and take responsibility. So that is another issue we are seeing that. So then on the MSME, we need to build their capability to be, I think institutions like TiE and all can definitely play an important role, because now tomorrow if they have to, MSME need to supply to for an international buyer, international company. These sustainability, there is a checklist, whether they are their water usage, their power usage, their waste management, all these are important. Then only they will, otherwise they will lose the business opportunity. So we need to build their capability for achieving these sustainability goals also.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Navas, taking off from what you mentioned during your first intervention, where you talked about, say, for instance, density of housing, creating a situation where water source, because they are all private, untreated, unprotected water sources, because we used to make it, it's like a, it's made out into a value proposition. So, that is as if now my water supply is safe because it's coming from my well, but they don't realize it can get polluted if the aquifers are all polluted. So in other words, there is a need for, even at the panchayat level or at the town level or at the domestic house level, etc., there's a need for efficient public services. And VK was saying about the fact that we should find the best agencies to do this. So my thought to you is, my question to you is, Kerala, we hear so much about the fact that there has been decentralization and that powers have been devolved to the panchayats. But have they really been devolved to the panchayats? So I don't think so, and there is a lot of evidence about that. So what we need actually, what are your thoughts on how can local bodies, because if you look at the literature now, one of the secrets behind China's amazing growth is what's called the mayoral economy. What they're saying is that the small towns, provinces, counties, their managements were given autonomy to go even borrow money to raise the finances for infrastructure and housing and all that. So how can we create, what can be done to strengthen the local resources of local governments so that all these issues can be addressed efficiently? Because obviously the solution is not centralized large grids, but decentralized solutions. But for that they need money. How can they get this money?
So the thing is, whatever money government or the local self-government authorities spend, it is not reaching the desired level. So that is where, we need to have a CL model of development in panchayats, where, we in fact, I'm not saying that we have did it but I just wanted to narrate an example. There was a fire in a shop, but what happened was the other two shops which were adjacent to the shop, they also got destroyed. And one of the guy didn't have insurance. So I was just asking the panchayat president, for a town like Adimali, the fire engine has to come either from Kodamangalam or from Munnar. So I asked him, what is stopping us from having, you know, if you take Adimali as a town, it's, I mean, big town. So what is stopping us? So the budget which they had was around 45 lakhs rupees. And they had only 10 lakh rupee with them. I said, if you give 10 lakh to me, we will build it and give it to you. You won't believe. In 22 lakhs, we were able to build a fire station there. Whereas the government, the PWD rate was 40, 42 or 45 lakhs of rupees. So this is the way things are happening. So how do you synergize with the local people, whether it is corporates, whether it is group of people who would like to contribute to the society? You know, we need to align, and first and foremost, people who run the panchayat should understand what is that need to be done in that particular panchayat. That is why I am insisting that every panchayat need to have a master plan.
We have 15 minutes more. So I think, shall we just open it up? Or if there's any more, please.
On the panchayat side, just you said actually outside world compared to many other states, we have got a very strong panchayat raj system. But if you really ask whether the power is being given to the local panchayats, it is no. Effectively, it is no. So in many cities now, municipal bonds are one of the best asset class globally. And even in India, municipal bonds are formally approved one. And Indore municipality, Bangalore Municipal Corporation, all have issued municipal bonds for so it is the good that they can raise money for their long-term infrastructure projects. But and that also improves the financial accounting and financial management of the local body. But we are not encouraging. We still think that the corporations are not capable to handle their own finance. So if we really give them freedom, and then they compete each other to be the great place, people will attract. So Thrissur corporation will tell, so we are close to 3 airports. You come and stay in Thrissur. We have these benefits, like in US counties and all advertise. So we also, that way we should empower our municipalities and panchayats.
VK?
Just one thought. Again, if you really want to have very successful enterprises and well-paying jobs in the state for us to retain our talent, what we have learned from experience is that in Kerala, any enterprises which are working from government designated parks, whether it is Info Park, Techno Park, or Cyber Park, or Kinfra Parks, they are pretty much insulated from all of the struggles, and they get single window clearances. So this is a model that we can actually try in a place like Kerala. We should have more and more designated areas for industry. Now, government is coming up with two important ones, and one, Shibulal and we are giving the shape to it. What we say is, we can have private affiliated parks, affiliated private parks. What it means is that Info Park will be a governing park, and under that, for example, in Pallikara or in Kerakamblam or any of the places, if you want to have a private park, private parties can actually give that park and develop that park. And there, if you have paddy field which is remaining unused for a longer period of time, or if you want to have land pooling, meaning that an individual doesn't have enough land, then they can pool it with others. And so the facilitation of this will be a great way of actually utilizing and also taking the industry forward.
I've just got a message that we are running out of time, but I want to I'm sure there will be some questions. So we can take about 2 or 3 questions only before I ask for a final any responses, because we may not have time for that. But at least 2 or 3 questions from the house here. So if there are any questions, please raise your hand. Somebody will get the mic to you. Can somebody take a mic to the lady there in red? Can you raise your hand, please? Going very slow.
See, the question basically is regarding, since it's a corporate sector. I'm Dr. Nirmala from St. Teresa's College. My question is, we were talking about ESG, but one framework that I have found in that is ESG just does not cover the basic principle of waste management, that is reduction, nor does it cover behavioral change, which is very critical for Kerala. As a corporate, this can be at least, because unless that behavioral change happens, Kerala is never going to have a permanent solution. Either we have to have a very strong government, or we have to have supplemented with behavioral change. But unfortunately, these two factors are just not seen in the ESG framework for corporates. So is it possible? That is one question. And second, to Navas, Meeran, yes, village plans are needed, but unfortunately 2 things. One, do they have the capacity to create such a village plan? Very difficult. They don't have the technical capacity, as we have been interacting with them. And second is, as Sir said, they don't have the freedom. Even if they have the capacity, they don't have the freedom. So unless the body really, the government really empowers them with both funds and capacity, it's not going to work.
Thank you, Professor Nirmala. Navas, would you like to respond to the first part that, ESG issues, for example, it doesn't cover waste. And Professor Nirmala Padmanabhan is of the view that this intersects with things, with the societal attitudes, compliance and all. So this requires strong governance also. So enforcement must also be there. And if these are part of the rules, if that is absent, it will be very difficult. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, so as corporates, if we don't show models in our own facilities, there's no point in talking about it. So the thing is, every corporate, if they are involved in any of the societal interventions, what need to be done is we need to understand the root cause and then act against it. Otherwise, what happens is it's not just going and spending some CSR money for some XYZ purpose. I'll narrate a small thing, in a town like ours in Adimali. I'm sorry for quoting Adimali because I'm slightly involved in that. I'm not going to be standing for election and all, but Adimali is our hometown, that's the reason. So you have there came a plan to do waste the water treatment, sewage treatment facility. And it had lot of money involved by way of, different sort of things came up. But that is one town, just with gravitational advantage, you could take the water to the tank. You don't have to have pumping station, nothing was needed. So for us to make them understand, it was an Herculean task. Because for them, it's a project of say 50 lakhs or 1.5 crores. It's not solving the issue. If solving the issue is the idea, then we can contribute for that. But here it's like, I've done 2.5 crore worth of project, and then you could see a plastic, the banner coming in a different part of the town saying that this Panchayat president has donated 2.5 crore for this sewage treatment, and that's there, it ends there. That's the issue.
Just one thing about the mindset change. We need the mindset change. mindset will change provided there is a solution. Today in the city of Kochi, other than throwing the waste around, there is nothing like a distributed waste management. There's no collection, there's no segregation, collection, processing. It is not there. So what will they do? Their civic sense says that it's better that my neighbor's place be less clean compared to my, and then they just throw it. But if there was a solution, and that's what we should also side by side look at.
Yeah, on the
Other question?
on the ESG,
Yeah, okay.
let me just clarify. Ma'am, on the ESG framework, waste management, and because the E stands for environment, and which covers waste, which covers the energy utilization, which covers the water utilization, and there is a framework for each sector. So the rating agencies go through that, and then only they give the score for that. So it is part of it, but it is again how you implement it depends on the company.
There was another part, but then I think we'll just get one or two more questions before we wrap up. We got 5 minutes more. So any other question, suggestion? Yeah, gentleman in blue. Can somebody quickly get a mic to him? I think our tie needs to speed up. Yeah.
There was a good thought from Mathews' side on the way private parks. Okay, is there anything happening from the government side? My question to not you.
So we are drafting the policy as we speak. Government has asked us to draft the policy, how to go about, meaning what should be the contours of a private park, an affiliated private park, how it should be governed, and making sure that it will be intended, it will be developed as it is intended. The idea is how to use unused land to become affiliated private parks where industry can come, and it will have all the facilities. For example, if it's an affiliated IT park, it will have all of the rights and the facilities as Info Park or Techno Park, and it will be under the governance of Info Park or Techno Park as an umbrella. So I think it would be a great move. And in Kerala, I think it's during the last 25 years, more than that, of IBS, my own company operating, we have never lost a day because of any disruptions of any kind. Typically, these parks are insulated from some of the disturbances that we otherwise have outside. So I think it's being shaped up.
So I'd just like to add to that from what I understand now that for the last couple of months I've been interacting with the Industries Department and the government. So, they have this private industrial parks has been announced, the policy. And the good news is that 31 private industrial park projects are under implementation right now in Kerala, 31. And what is even more interesting, or as interesting, is they have announced a policy for campus industrial parks. And 85 institutions have put forward expressions of interest to set up campus parks. Those are being now processed, and I think most of them will be, and of them 11 have already passed through a certain scrutiny and the work is going to start. So I think that's a very good development. But like VK pointed out, the problem if you allow industrial parks like this, unless they are also covered by some expertise regarding governance and running those parks, we may find all kinds of things. It may not meet the intended purpose. So I think that's very good that expert bodies connected with for software parks and similarly for industry specific parks, etc., will be is also happening. Unfortunately, I think we have now run out of time, and the organizers, I'm sure, will not extend the time any further. So I think I will take this opportunity to thank my fellow panelists for having raised, I think, what are very consequential questions and have even suggested solutions. And some of these are very important things, like this mindset about not using the private sector for public service delivery when they are much better capable of doing it, number one. Number two is the importance of having panchayat level master plans, though a question was raised by Professor Nirmala about the capacity of LSGIs to draw up master plans, but they can be helped and supported by institutional systems, for which I think a lot of conversations will have to happen between the LSGIs and the expertise institutions. And then the other thing is, I think we again come back to there is an inescapable role of governance. Finally, some amount of tough decisions will have to be taken, and those decisions will have to be, because consensus may not happen all the time. And, but in issues which concern public health, public security, and public safety, the government has to step in, has to act properly. And as a neutral referee, it has to ensure that there is the same rules apply to all. So I'll just circle back to the point which I think all our panelists said were referring to different aspects, but the phrase used by VK, I will end it with this, that I think all of us want, and we know that Kerala can become the best place to live in and the best place to work in. In fact, I've been hearing talk about, you hear about work from home and work near home, and now there's somebody saying a new one, work from Kerala. So wherever you are, WFK, work from Kerala. So that if your job is the type of job which can be done remotely, come back to the greatest place in the world, God's own country, and work here. But that is a good vision, but to make that vision a reality, we have to attend to mundane things like sanitation, safety, hygiene, and these which are all very doable. The technologies all exist. All these infrastructural matters we must deal with, and that should become the primary focus of government. That was the sort of conclusion of the panelists. Thank you all, the members of the audience. And my apologies that there was not enough time for more questions to be raised and for more discussion, but I think during lunch you can continue the conversation with the panelists. Thank you all.
Thank you, C. Balagopal, for moderating this very power-packed session with panelists VK Mathews, Paul Thomas, and Navas Meeran. I now call on stage Bibu Punuran, President KMA, Managing Director Medivision. He will do the honor of giving a small token of gratitude to the panelists. May we have Bibu on stage. That's Bibu handing over the token of gratitude to VK Mathews, sir, Paul Thomas, and Navas Meeran. Now for the photo moments. Thank you. Delegates, please note, in Natika 1, there will be 3 master classes post-lunch. In Natika 2, from 2:15 to 6:30 p.m., there will be a pitching session happening, but this is a closed event. Only startup finalists are admitted in that hall. In Diwan Hall, we have Mentor Connect post-lunch. Kindly contact the TiE Secretariat at the registration counter to connect with the mentors. We break for the networking lunch, which will be served outside this hall. We have provided ample time for a good amount of networking, so please do make use of this opportunity. We start post-lunch session with startup owners at sharp 3 p.m. Enjoy the afternoon. Thank you.